Good morning, writers. You know what I want you to do today? Come close to your computer. I'm going to tell you a little story, okay? It's a little scary, so come in nice and close. Ready? Well, here's my story. One day, Jack and Sarah were walking to school. It was Jack's first day of kindergarten. His big sister Sarah was going to keep him safe on the way to school. Bye, they shouted as they left the house. This is great, Jack said as they walked down the block. The sun was shining, the flowers were out. They turned the corner. That's when they saw it. They saw. Whoops, I'm going to stop right there. What do you think? What did they see? Wouldn't it be mean if I ended the story right there, readers? If I just said they saw the end? You want to know what happens next, don't you? I certainly do. Well, writers, today I want to teach you that readers love satisfying endings. One way writers create endings for their readers is by telling what happens to their characters at the end of their story. This makes the readers really happy. So it got me to thinking about, that Gretchen story, and I started to reread it, and I was thinking to myself, do I really have a good ending for this Gretchen story? So I thought we could take a look at it. I'm going to just show you the Gretchen story. This was the one with the bird. Gretchen heard a noise. Peep, peep, caw, peep, peep, caw. What is that? She thought. She crouched by the path. It was a fierce bird. Gretchen felt afraid. I'll be brave, she thought. She scooped up the bird in her sweater. And as I was rereading that, I was thinking to myself, do I really have a good ending for that story? And I thought to myself, I don't think so. I think I could do a little bit better. So what I'm going to do today is show you how to add more of an ending. And this little poster right here can help me with that. And it can help you too. These are things we learned in the beginning of the school year where we talked about unfreezing people. You can make them move or you make them talk. You can use talking marks or speech bubbles. You can tell things in small steps. And the last thing you could do is bring out the inside, make people feel, make them think. So I'm thinking about those things, and I'm thinking about the way other authors end their stories. Now, out there in my audience today, I bet you are probably thinking of ways that stories end. Think of something right now. When you have an idea of how stories end, put a thumb up. Just put your thumb up. I bet you there are a lot of thumbs up right now. I know that most people, when they're reading stories, sometimes you'll know that, oh, this has a happy ending. That's one way a story could end. Another way a story could end is maybe there's some action at the end. Or, well, let's take a look. I've got a little list here. Sometimes the stories make you want to read more. Some endings bring you right back to the beginning. And sometimes they make you want to say, yay, that was a great ending. So I'm going to keep that all in mind when I end my story for Gretchen. Now, in your head, writers and readers, I want you to think, what would Gretchen do next? She says on her page 3, I'll be brave, she thought. She scooped up the bird in her sweater. What's she going to do with that bird? Now, over here, I've started an ending for that. And I'm thinking. You think of your ending. I'll give you a second. And I'll write mine. See if it's the same, or maybe you'll have a different ending. Okay, here I go. I'm thinking she needs to do something with that bird. So then she gently Place the bird in a nearby bush. I think that would be a safe spot for the bird. So on my last page, I still want something to happen to that bird because I'm wondering what's going to happen. The bird fluttered her wings and flew away. She went to a nearby tree a tree close by and sang a sweet bird song. So, readers and writers, look at what I did. I made sure you knew what happened to that bird. Today, when you go off to write, you may go back to some of your old books that you've written and look at the endings. Do you have an ending for your book? Do you want to change it? Maybe make it different? Maybe you would even want to make a different ending for my story. I'll post my story on the slideshow and you can decide what would happen to the little bird after Gretchen scooped her up into her sweater. Let me know. I'd love to see your postings. Have fun, writers.